Hello, Joe Esposito, Owasso, Oklahoma. Lived in this house here 19 years. We're actually north of the city of Owasso, but I live in Tulsa County. And we learned some things the last few years about electromagnetic radiation. PSO came out and said they were going to, this is a pilot, Owasso was going to be the pilot, and so they decided to make us part of that pilot. And they came one day and put a meter on my house, and I wasn't home. I didn't know much about them back then. And then on November the 7th, 2012, my wife and I watched Dr. Dietrich Klinghardt in a presentation on YouTube. It was called Smart Meters and Electromagnetic Radiation, the Health Crisis of Our Time. And that was a pretty stunning video to watch. YouTube, and I was having some health issues about that time, and so I did what Dr. Dietrich Klinghardt said to do. The first thing he said was to smash the meter. That was kind of his $20 German method, and we didn't do that. But I bought a sheet of lead, the smart meters behind us on the south end of the house, and I put that up, and that night I had immediate health recovery from two major symptoms. My front teeth and bottom teeth and roof of my mouth were like Alka-Seltzer at night. And I had a pinpoint pain in my leg, started in my groin, went down to the full leg, took about 6 months, and those two major symptoms were totally eliminated. I put the lead on just around the house, around the box where the smart meter was. And it was about 3 o'clock Friday afternoon, about 1 o'clock Saturday morning, I woke up and these two major symptoms were gone immediately. No pharmaceuticals, no physician, and that really started me on this journey that we've been on now for about a year and a half, trying to understand what's happening with all this radiation. And it's interesting, there's a lot of symptoms. Let me just go over some real quick. Sleep problems, insomnia, stress, agitation, headaches, ringing in the ears, concentration, memory problems, fatigue, sinus problems, cardiac symptoms, skin rashes, high blood pressure, and seizures. And that's just a few of the things that I was learning about. And so we've been on this quest now, and we started learning. And then I purchased a Gigahertz Solutions meter. This is an HFE 35C. This is the volume knob. This is the peak. It reads 2,000 microwatts per meter squared, and it goes to 2,000 microwatts, and that's the display. And I didn't have this, but after I got it, I started learning a lot about what was happening. Where my wife would lay her head on the bed, the radiation was coming through the walls into the house and was pegging this meter. Let me just show you kind of, when you go to the country, this meter reads 000. We're not in the country. There's a lot of hot radiation where I live. Probably this is one of the worst places I've read in Oklahoma for the last year and a half. But let me just show you what I'm talking about. We're going to turn it on real quick. Like, it's not, you have a cell phone? Yeah. Okay. And so, right now it's reading about 19. This is a baby monitor. But let me just show you what these things do. But this is going to go to, we're going to put it on 2,000 and just listen. Okay. It's pegging my meter, which means it's over 2,000 microwatts, and I can't read it. Now listen to this deck phone. Let me get this thing off. Just a minute. Thank you. We got that up. Now listen to this deck phone. Most people have this in their homes. This is set at 2,000 microwatts. Okay. And it's pegging my meter. That's over 2,000 microwatts. And most people don't realize that, but that's like having a cell tower in your home. And in a little bit, we're going to walk you around the house and show you these multi-sources of microwave radiation. But there's health issues with all this. So all this time, we learned about this. We got a permit from the city of Tulsa because Stuart Solomon, PSO, wouldn't read my certified mail letters that I had sent in. And so he kind of ignored all that. And so I got a permit from the city of Tulsa. We got a replacement and a permit. We took off the smart meter and put an analog on the house. And that was kind of the thing we did. But when PSO found out about it, they turned our electricity off for 66 days. So we got an attorney, got that kind of fixed for a little while. And then the judge, Nightingale and PSO, said, well, I had to put the meter out 93 feet from my house on the property out there for $1,100, which we did. But that didn't solve a lot of my radiation problems. So we're going to go around the house and show you, but eventually what we had to do was nail aluminum screen wire on the house and put it on our roof to block it. And what's happening is these are really serious health issues. And I spent this last year and a half, but we have like military documents, 1972 Navy military document. This is several. This is maybe 10 documents, but in this Navy document, there's 106 pages, 2,300 studies, 5 pages of health symptoms. So we have lots of documents here, and we don't have any near the time. But this one here is the International Firefighters Association, AFL-CIO. They are saying the exact same thing, basically, we are, if you want to read their document. And so it's just a common thing that there's these health symptoms. The only trouble is nobody's got a meter, because I know of only 3 in the state that we have. And most people don't know because you can't feel, touch this stuff. You can't hear it, basically, unless you become hypersensitive. So if you don't have a meter to read it, and you haven't studied the documents to really see what's going on, then you really don't know what's happening. So I've taken this time for this last year and a half to educate myself so that I can come to you and educate you. So it's no question all this is happening, but it's just kind of put aside. They don't fess up and they don't tell the people what's really happening. There's a lot of money involved with this. And so you really need to get involved. This is your family. This is your health. And so you need to really research this, and we'll walk around the house in a few minutes and I'll show you this. But let me tell you what you need to do. You know, we've been in communication with the Oklahoma State Legislature, if you're from Oklahoma, and the Corporation Commission since January the 8th of 2013. We've brought them all sorts of documents. There's a real important DVD you need to watch called Take Back Your Power by Josh Dasal. This is an hour and 42 minutes, and it tells you what's happening on the international level. It's just not Oklahoma. It's just not the United States. So, I mean, it's just the United States that's using this wireless mesh grid network to communicate between all these meters, and it's quite devastating. I mean, we have Jerry Flynn, 26-year microwave radiation warfare expert in Canada. He's got PowerPoint's 300 and some slides that he has that goes through all this and documents this radiation ill effects since 1932. There's Barry Trowler. Barry's got 2 doctorates in microwave radiation and physiology, and he's telling you none of this is any good. It never was. It's not safe. So you really need to understand, get involved. I'll show you what's happening. So you really need to be getting a hold of your state representative and your state senators, and you want a moratorium passed on these smart meters. You want it stopped, you want the safety and health issues looked at, and you want to request the legislature to pass legislation to have the Corporation Commission do the safety and health studies that they've never done. This is pulsed, non-ionizing microwave radiation. And then you want to file the complaint with the Oklahoma Corporation Commission saying you don't want smart meters on your house if you don't have one already, and if you do have one, you want it replaced with an analog. So it's up to you. You take the time to study it. I've studied it for you. I can make it pretty quick for you to look at all this stuff, and then you determine who's telling the truth here and who's lying. It's your family and it's your country. You make the decision.